I love when artists tap into this side. I can already tell what I'm gonna get out of this. Yeah, what's good, y'all? Back at it again with another reaction. If you're new to the channel, my name is Shadiq, and you're now locked into KRXOVR Media. KO is hands down one of the most talented lyricists, wordsmith, whatever you want to say, out of the UK. The things that he does with words, it doesn't make any sense. He really is William Shakespeare, for real, for real. But listen, man. The 98s in general, the fact that they're dropping these solo tracks, if you haven't already, check out my reaction to DA and Billy's most recent songs. But the fact that the 98s are dropping these individual songs, they're just gonna prove to everybody they can hold their own. But listen, I already know that KO can, so I don't want to hold y'all too much longer. Let's get it. So my immediate impression is that this is probably gonna have like a storytelling vibe to it. Cause usually videos that start like this, there's something a little bit more. Is that the 98s blazer that they had? And Pay Attention? I wonder. If so, that would be a good little Easter egg.
Right, I'm going out. See you later.
Hey son, cheer up. You know,
That better not be
there will
KO.
be some ups and downs in your life. But in the end,
Nah,
tables will turn.
that don't look like his face, yeah. This is different.
Won't stop wishing that they free up my bros. I know the feds want me on the wing locked with him. He needs to know knows who.
I love when artists tap into this side. I can already tell what I'm gonna get out of this. I like it because honestly, after a certain amount of time, there's only really gonna be but so many ways you can just give the straight up crud. Then you really have to start giving like actual stories, you know what I mean? Really tapping into your real emotions and thoughts.
That they free up my bros. I know the feds want me on the wing locked with him. He needs to know knows who did it. Loose lips, sink ships, end up in prison. Take this beef for joke to the sweets and smoking. It's you that were hitting. I was dealing both and I had seen dough, but robbed them so more figures. When we stealing.
I like this a lot. I like the direction. I just like this. And the fact that homie went from being this guy to KO.
Did it loose lips, sink ships, end up in prison. Take this beef for joke to the sweets and smoking. It's you that were hitting. I was dealing both and I had seen dough, but robbed them so more figures. When we stealing crow with sleeper holds, wake up to your crop gone missing. When you're getting it free, it's different. Scheme on roads and clip that wristwatch, peel and go in an instant. Feeding holes in your peas is low.
Small things like the melody is obviously cool, but also the way that those snares came in, kind of like building up the suspense for whatever it is he's about to say next. If it had a singer on this track, that would have been the perfect moment. That would have been the perfect moment to transition right into them.
You that were hitting. I was dealing both and I had seen dough, but robbed them so more figures. When we stealing crow with sleeper holds, wake up to your crop gone missing. When you're getting it free, it's different. Scheme on roads and clip that wristwatch, peel and go in an instant. Feeding holes in your peas is low, he's lost his vision. Let go on the mission.
It's crazy. I was just thinking about Unknown T, and I was like, as much as I would like to hear KO and Unknown T together, I don't think this would have been one for Unknown T. But I wish that his voice was a little bit louder. I think that his voice is competing a little bit with the beat, but nonetheless, I do appreciate the message and everything.
Feeding holes in your peas is low, he's lost his vision. Let go on the mission. Keep extra teeth cause I use my wisdom. Don't get
Keep extra teeth because I use my wisdom.
vision. Let go on the mission. Keep extra teeth cause I use my wisdom. Don't get bitten. If they run, let it be, I'ma have to.
See, this is the thing with KO, like, obviously he goes from a teeth bar to saying bitten. Like, I didn't even want to pause it, but I had to pause it on that. But something I will say, right, if y'all been watching all of my recent videos, you've probably been hearing me complain about like bars that I've heard before. I've heard wisdom and like teeth related bars before in the past, right? But the way that KO just did it, that was different, because it wasn't just the fact that like what he said, it was the way that he placed it, but also the fact that he followed it up with like the don't get bitten, like creating a whole kind of scenario or sequence around the whole biting and teeth and everything.
Keep extra teeth cause I use my wisdom. Don't get bitten. If they run, let it be, I'ma have to S with them. Bros and cages flow on the rhythm. We'll be the killers, don't be pulling no triggers. Sometimes I don't listen for myself in the thing when we pull up on victims.
Ooh, whoa. That flow. I don't think I've ever heard KO do something like that before. That's a very 98 kind of flow, in the sense that like how 98s be switching up on you.
Don't get bitten. If they run, let it be, I'ma have to S with them. Bros and cages flow on the rhythm. We'll be the killers, don't be pulling no triggers. Sometimes I don't listen for myself in the thing when we pull up on victims.
Wow.
Don't find them and we learn man linger. We need something burnt or injured. Gangs putting in work and richer. Ain't no to tell that they hurt and bitter. Gangs got clout, guns, women. Can rap, sing, got drillers.
again, the way that those snares come in, and I could tell that if I had my speakers kind of panned out, it would have like been traveling. It sounds like it, but the way that those snares come in, and it sounds like they're kind of traveling from one side to the other. Those are the small things that create experiences.
Gangs got clout, guns, women, can rap, sing, got drillers. It's facts that we're bigger, gap between us ain't getting thinner. Look how the tables them turn, look on their faces, they upset.
And it's crazy. See, I just start just saying my thoughts instead of keeping them to myself. Earlier when I said how that would have been a perfect moment for a singer, I was like, I wonder if KO's gonna sing on this. But I'm like, that's not really his style. But I guess the 98s are really wising up, I guess. Well, they already are wise. You could tell from the way that they talk and carry themselves. But the fact that they're doing more to appeal to different audiences, different sounds and everything, very intentionally as well.
Between us ain't getting thinner. Look how the tables them turn. Look on their faces, they upset. Look how they hate on the works. Look how they saying we up next. You don't wanna be wishing you gripping in the streets, how you get slugfest.
Wow.
I don't wanna be the victim, me, I'd rather be the suspect. Look how the tables them turn. Look on their faces, they upset. Look how they hate on the works. Look how they saying we up next. You don't wanna be wishing you gripping in the streets, how you get slugfest. I don't wanna be the victim, me, I'd rather be the suspect. Old or new recruits still get it, don't care when you join them. I hate ops when I'm all shot, but some ain't done a thing except be annoying. I hate the feds in this mutual, so I gotta watch.
Wow, let me take that in again, because I'm enjoying the visual. I'm not exactly following exactly what the story is, but I'm enjoying the fact that there's a real visual coupled with this. And again, I'm enjoying the fact that we're getting to hear KO's actual thoughts and not just like regular drill, you know what I mean? Al Tribunal would have been good for this.
Old or new recruits still get it, don't care when you join them. I hate ops when I'm all shot, but some ain't done a thing except be annoying. I hate the feds in this mutual, so I gotta watch how I step and avoid them. Music's something I could get used to, love to get checks and send invoices. Sometimes I don't know if I got.
See, artists say that a lot. I know M24 had a bar where he said something like that, like how, you know, he was in the trap or whatever, now he does music and it suits him well.
They know I had to leave that trap, can't hate that smell. Hate it. Now I do rap and it suits me well.
There was somebody else who had a line like that. If you know any other artists who had a bar similar to what KO just said about, you know, feeling like he can get used to doing music instead of the roads and everything, you know, drop that bar down below in the comment section.
Thing except be annoying. I hate the feds in this mutual, so I gotta watch how I step and avoid them. Music's something I could get used to, love to get checks and send invoices. Sometimes I don't know if I got game, but the bad ones still wanna test this joystick. More time is cut, can't lack and leave it to luck like a coin flip. So my young
You see, so this is something I say about how artists can use the lyricism, right? It's very easy to just make up a bunch of bars that sound clever, throw them together and be like, hey, look, I can say a bunch of clever things and make a bunch of clever, you know, references. But the way that KO does it is that he paints pictures around them. So he picks and chooses just the right moments to give you those kinds of bars. Because he could do it, if you want to be honest, he could really just do that nonstop if you really wanted to, right? But the fact that he had the joystick bar, that kind of, you know, makes you focus again. Then he's giving you these sequences that are really clever and they're very well chosen too. I can tell he's not about to force it. I can tell that after that sequence that I've just paused it on, he's gonna go right back to telling his story.
Would get used to, love to get checks and send invoices. Sometimes I don't know if I got game, but the bad ones still wanna test this joystick. More time is cut, can't lack and leave it to luck like a coin flip. So my young boy, yo, you been appointed. Go and show them why they made wrong choices. Towards the ops with the pistols pointing. Anywhere else is pointless. No point aiming.
Again, he had that whole point sequence. Now he just said no point aiming. I could be reaching, but just the way that KO constructs these things, even if it isn't on purpose, everything just flows together. It like follows cohesive themes in between like the bars and the verses.
Lack and leave it to luck like a coin flip. So my young boy, yo, you been appointed. Go and show them why they made wrong choices. Towards the ops with the pistols pointing. Anywhere else is pointless. No point aiming anywhere else. That ain't endangering anyone's health. Pain if we can't get any more bells. Weight got brought down, put on those scales. Took train ups and the pebbles got dealt. Felt flames didn't wanna hit any more cells. But dates they never an option. Cutting them off if anyone tells. Ops all fuming cause their shit capsized. Booming and Sheffield on that side.
That flow, it's a very simple flow, but I just like the way it sounded with the beat. I don't know why. I just like this. The flow is coming right now.
They never an option. Cutting them off if anyone tells. Ops all fuming cause their shit capsized. Still booming and Sheffield on that side. They're ruined, they ain't just a bad time. Their things muted, dead, flatline. We the proof when you know that you can climb.
Again, these visuals are so masterfully constructed. Like, this is what I like out of music, yo. When they really put so much more intentional effort into constructing an experience. You know what I mean? Like, granted, at the end of the day, sometimes just going out into the roads and just doing your thing, that can work. but the fact that he actually tried to put something together with this makes you wonder what KO and Kano would sound like together. KO and Kano, maybe even Gets. After hearing Conflict of Interest and knowing what Gets can do, KO and Gets with their storytelling, that could work as well. I also wonder what this would sound like with Al Tribino, because Al Tribino has been very open about the fact that he doesn't like drill. There are actually a lot of artists, you'd be surprised, a lot of artists are either tired of it or they don't really like it as much as, you know, they may be good at it, you feel me? So I wonder what Al Tribino would have sounded like on this. But I understand why they're doing the solos, you know what I mean? It makes sense, but
Just a bad time, their things muted, dead, flatline. We the proof when you know that you can climb. There's been a turning in that time. Still on the road, the version gets applied. Pressing for certain, this wax line. Look how the tables I'm turned. Look on their faces, they upset.
pressure applied, press, all that. I don't know if that was on purpose. I'd rather point it out than not.
On that side. They're ruined, they ain't just a bad time. Their things muted, dead, flatline. We the proof when you know that you can climb. There's been a turning in that time. Still on the road, the version gets applied. Pressing for certain, this wax line. Look how the tables I'm turned. Look on their faces, they upset. Look how they hate on the words. Look how they saying we up next. You don't wanna be wishing you gripping in the streets, how they get slugfest. I don't wanna be the victim, me, I'd rather be the suspect. Look how the tables them turn. Look on their faces, they upset. Look how they hate on the words. Look how they saying we up next. You don't wanna be wishing you gripping in the streets, how they get slugfest. I don't wanna be the victim, me, I'd rather be the suspect.
I like this a lot.
Hey, Grandad.
It was him. Oh, well, it wasn't, but that's funny. You know what that reminds me of? This reminds me of the J. Cole video. Wow, I'm so bad I'm not remembering it, but the J. Cole video that kind of had a similar premise where the young man left the home, came back, saw J. Cole. So that's really interesting. I wonder if that was inspired by that in any way, or if they drew any kind of like anything, but yeah, man. This was cool. This would sound good in a project. I know that too for sure. This would actually sound very good in a project. I know that for a fact. So in this channel we hold the vowels. That means we're gonna get straight into it. I'm giving this one an 8.5. KO did a very good job with this one. I honestly can't help but wonder what this would have sounded like with the feature, but really and truly he held his own, and I'm actually very glad to hear that the 98s are doing these solo tracks. I think that what would have really made me appreciate this more was maybe if it was in a project, or rather within the context of a project. I think that this is one of those that with the right song before and after it, and like having the tone set and everything, it would make a lot more sense in context again. But overall, I see what he was doing and I appreciate it very much. Now overall, his flows, they were very good. They weren't spectacular, they weren't mind-blowing, but he did have those moments that I really liked. So I have to point that out. But other than that, there really wasn't anything super crazy. But I think that this is one of those songs where you really want to focus more so on what he's saying than the way that it's being delivered flow-wise. I think that doing too much with the flows, it would have took away from it. It would have made it about like his technical abilities with the flows and less so about the story. So that's why I'm saying that if this song was in a project, it would probably be received a little bit differently. Same thing kind of goes for the beat. It was very good. It just didn't really have enough for me to get super mind blown by it. But really and truly with this kind of song, what can you really do to give this like a 10 kind of a beat? You know what I mean? You really want to maintain that sentimental aspect. You want to keep that tone. So it really wouldn't have made too much sense to do too much. But the moments where the snares pan, at least I'm pretty sure that they pan, if that's the right way to say it, right? If I was listening in headphones, I don't know for sure, but it sounded like the snares went from one end to the other. So using that, kind of sprinkling those in here and there, that was a really good touch. But other than that, it was a very calm beat and it did what it had to do. And lyrically, it's KO. We know what KO does. And if you don't, you better go listen to like his Daily Duppy or something, because KO is an insane lyricist. And what he did here is something that I've been asking drill artists to do for a while, which is pick and choose the moments you want to be super lyrical. You don't have to wild out all the time. Doing that, it can just be overwhelming. It could take away from what you're trying to say in the story that you're trying to paint. So the fact that KO really picks these sequences to kind of deliver those moments, and what it even does, that there's more moments that I missed, just really trying to focus in on like the delivery and focus on the story and everything. but overall, very good. He chose his moments very wisely. The main thing that's really keeping me from listening to this one again and giving this one a higher score for the replay value is just the fact that it is a mellow song. This is one of those that has to be played either in a very specific mood, in a very specific playlist, or again within a project. That's where it would definitely shine the most. Overall, as I've been saying, the fact that the 98s are dropping these solo tracks ever since they teased them at the end of We the Ones, I was like, yeah, they're doing a very smart thing. They've used every moment before that to build their platform, push the brand of the 98s, kind of kept Unknown T a little bit out of the way just so that he doesn't overshine for those who are really going to be listening to the songs for him and not the newer artists. Give them their moment, and that's what I really like. I think that I would have loved for this one to have more of the 98s in there, add a couple more voices, a couple more tonal shifts, flows and everything. But again, I understand why KO took this approach. If they're all planning on rolling out their own solo projects like solo EPs or something, that would be dope. But even if they're choosing to do another 98s project but where they're adding more solos, that would even be a good touch as well. But we'll see what they got planned. Overall, I think this was a very, very good song, but I want to hear what y'all got to say in the comment section down below. And as always, hang tight for some more reactions. I do got more of those coming for y'all, but until next time, peace.